And finally, Monday Night Football, the Indianapolis Colts, the Baltimore Ravens. This thing sitting 6.5 or 7 right now in favor of the Ravens. The 45.5 is your total. The Colts do go get a win, but they don't impress me in the least bit. Didn't show me anything at all. I don't see any reason to feel good about this Colts team after what you saw last week. This Ravens team getting a little bit healthier. They got the guys back off the COVID list. Lamar Jackson throws for 300 yards for the first time in a hot minute. And then maybe they're going to have their first round pick in Rashad Bateman out on the field this week as well. So if anything, signs kind of pointing up there for the Ravens. Brad, you have another bet in this week and you have a bet on this game.
Yes, I am a big fan of the Ravens. We spoke last week about the defense getting healthy, getting people back off the COVID list, getting corners back in there, and they just suffocated the Broncos entirely, knocked Bridgewater out of the game, and then obviously Drew Lock did nothing after that. But then on offense as well, I think we're seeing Lamar Jackson evolve as a passer. I think so. I've just got some stats here from Ian Hartitz at PFF. So Lamar Jackson, when not pressured, so under a clean pocket, which is the stickiest, he's 12th amongst qualified quarterbacks in grade. He's 12th in big time throw rate. He's 22nd in turnover worthy play, which is what we want, and he's 4th in yards per attempt. So he's. There was a lot of talk when Hollywood Brown dropped 3 touchdowns, but it kind of went under the radar that Lamar threw 3 perfect balls for touchdowns to Hollywood Brown. And he did it last week. Broncos, the game plan was take the rush away. They kept him to 96 rushing yards till the end of that game. And Lamar just beat him through the air. And then, if he can do that consistently, especially getting more weapons back, as you say, then it's going to be very, very tough to defend them because he'll always have that rushing to fall back on. And if he can take you downfield as well now, then he's just a menace to stop. So, I just made the game 9 based on my power ratings. And I don't really get why it's a bit cheap on the Ravens side, to be honest.
Steven, this was one of the first teaser legs that I put in this week, getting that Ravens team down to 1. The lines moved against me. There are 6.5s available out there. Interestingly enough, the Colts have taken some money. I don't feel bad about it. I thought actually it would go the other way. I was wrong. I'll gladly take the Ravens at 1 in a teaser leg here. If you look at this Colts team, on the offensive side of the ball, it has been absolutely atrocious. Carson Wentz has been absolutely atrocious. There's really nothing to look at on the offensive side that makes you feel good about this team in the slightest. And as we mentioned, this, if anything, it makes you feel way worse because now you've got a Baltimore team coming to town going up against Wentz with, maybe ankles at 70% now, 80% now, whatever you want to give him, that blitzes at one of the highest rates in the league. He's going to be having to dodge guys left and right all over the place. And it's not like he has playmakers at the receiver position or guys out of the backfield to really make plays for him either. So I just think it's a really bad matchup here for this team. And I think Wentz is going to be really showing again why he's a bad quarterback and why he is not a dude that you can rely on here. So give me the Baltimore defense against Wentz all day long. And then, add in a couple of weapons for Lamar Jackson. And I like the Ravens a lot here.
We loved Baltimore last week to win in Denver. We thought that was an overreaction for Denver, and I'm with you. I think if I thought that they could win in Denver last week, I think they can win at home against Indy this week. I think it's an easier opponent, frankly. So I'm with you. This is the first teaser I put in on Tuesday. I did Baltimore down to -1. I don't care that the line went the other way. I think it's a mistake. I shook my head like Brad did when you mentioned that. So I teased that with the Cowboys. I just need a couple of home touchdown favorites to win outright to hit that teaser. And this matches well with a low total of 45 to 46.5, depending on where you look. And again, just another hat tip to our senior writer, Mo Nawara, for pointing out another mismatch in this one. The Ravens are 5th in blitz rate, 3rd in QB pressures. Wentz, 10.3% sack rate, led the NFL last year. Well, you might say he's on a new team this year. Well, the Colts are dead last in PFF block grade through the first month of the season. Their star guard, Quentin Nelson, is on IR. Their right tackle, Braden Smith, has missed a couple of weeks in a row now. This offense is 30th in red zone offense. Carson Wentz, 23rd in PFF pass grade. It's just not a good offense. Carson Wentz still isn't good at football. And on the flip side, the Ravens have significant advantages in the advanced metrics against the Colts defense in a couple of spots here. So on top of that, the Colts defense is banged up. Kwity Paye, their defensive end, their rookie, has a hamstring injury. Their solid cornerback, Rock Ya-Sin, has an ankle injury. Kari Willis, their safety, has an ankle and a groin injury. They were all out last week. So just overall, this is a rough matchup for Indy, and I am very happy to tease this down almost to a pick'em for the Ravens.
And Brad, one of the things we're going to hear leading into this game is people are going to say like, yeah, but the Colts run defense is much, much better than their pass defense. And, that's that's the big mismatch here.
Pass it.
Whatever. I think it showed last week. I think Lamar showed last week that, listen, if you want us to pass, yes, we are built around being a power running team. But if you want to say, okay, well, don't do that, we'll do the other route. Well, I think that they are finding that he is more and more capable of doing that. And again, might even have an additional weapon back in the fold this week.
Yeah, I'm very surprised to see -6.5 pop here. I cannot see the line closing there because I don't know where the Colts have an advantage on the pitch here on the field. Who's getting open? Michael Pittman's their best receiver. He's getting 40% of the air yards or something, and he's just not good enough a receiver to match up one-on-one with Marlon Humphrey, Jimmy Smith. So, you're going to try and run the ball? Okay, but you're still worse at running than the Ravens, and you're going to be much worse than passing at the Ravens. So, I don't know. I can't see that. I think you should bet the 6.5 now because I think that's going.
Yeah, definitely like the 6.5 as well. If I find that somewhere here in town, that one's going to enter the account as well, my friends. Guys, listen, we're going to try to keep the winning ways going here. It was a little bit of a tricky week. Not as many plays for me and Brad. At least Steven did bet the board for you. So there's that you can go through and get some insight in some of these games. But yeah, it's going to be a fun week. And again, a couple of really, really marquee matchups where we're going to find out what some of these teams are made of. If this Browns team is truly going to be one of the elite teams in the NFL, we're going to find out what this Chiefs and Bills team are made out of as well. And are the Bengals for real? Or are they all smoke and mirrors? There's some interesting games this week. We will find out all of this stuff. For Brad, for Steven, I'm Matt. Talk to you guys next week.